Hello, Paul here from the Open Mind Institute with a question for you. What inner narrative are you running when you're stressed or when you encounter a significant event or challenge? Where does that inner narrative come from? Because I can tell you the program that you're running up here is directly responsible for the life you're currently leading and the results you're currently receiving. For the most part, that inner narrative derives from our subconscious program. And the tail end of the mental filtering processing after we've encountered a significant event, there's always that inner narrative. And for most of us, it's subliminal, and it might come in the form of a dialogue such as, I don't know if I can do this, or I'm just not good enough. And once that takes place, that's what activates our central nervous system, and we experience this cascade of hormones, emotions, chemicals pumping through our system, such as cortisol, the stress hormone, or adrenaline. And we formulate our response, and that's how we deal with a significant event. We close that loop, and that's how ultimately we become conditioned creatures. But I want to share with you a couple of things you can do to change that inner narrative so that you can start changing the results you're receiving in life. The first step, first and foremost, you have to raise your level of self-awareness. You have to train your brain to be more present, and so that you can catch that inner narrative between that stimulus response gap. There's a couple of ways you can do this, but my favorite ways, I am a huge advocate on evidence-based, science-backed ways. And these include things like mindfulness and meditation. So rocking up every day and making it a non-negotiable, practicing meditation for 10 to 15 minutes every morning, for instance, will allow you to become more self-aware. But beyond that, what you can do is really flesh out what your triggers are. So you look back and you reflect, what triggered me to respond in this negative way, to have this limiting inner narrative? Yeah, so once you've established your triggers, which are more or less, what has to occur in your physical realm in order to elucidate a stress response in you. Once you've done that, you can really go back and retrospectively flesh out the inner narrative that you ran in that moment. And again, it might be something like, I can't do this right now. And I suggest you put that to paper. You really want to, put all of this to paper. Write down your triggers, write down what your inner negative or limiting inner narrative looks like. And once you've done that, again, you want to write down some positive dialogue that counters your conditioned inner narrative. And sometimes this is as simple as tweaking a word, right? You might want to change that word can't to how. Instead of I can't do this, you might want to write down how can I do this? So you write down a positive statement to counter each and every limiting one that you've been telling yourself all these years. And once you've done that, what you can do is then go through your life, and there will be a juncture, I can assure you, especially if you're doing your inner work every day. There will be a moment that arrives that triggers your usual conditioned stress response, but because you put some thought and effort behind it, because you've written it down, you'll be able to identify it. You'll be able to catch your inner narrative. And instead of telling yourself can't, perhaps in that moment, you'll be asking yourself, how can I do this? And that will change everything, I can assure you. And this goes towards creating your growth mindset. Yeah, because you can do it each and every time, and you can strengthen this dialogue to counter your conditioning. So that's just a little bit on how you can go about creating a growth mindset. If you'd like some more information, what I might do is attach my executive coaching page to this video, where you can find some more info on growth mindsets. But that's it from me now. Always keep an open mind, and I'll speak to you shortly. Thank you.